Howdy, hey submariners. Today is July 6th, Sunday, July 6th. I meant to. Anyway, I hope you're all having a great Sunday. Hope your weekend was great. Hope your week was great. And in general, hope everything's fine. Yeah, all that jazz. For those of you who don't know, which is okay, it's okay to not know or to not remember. I didn't remember until last night that I just so happened to be on Tumblr at like 1 in the morning and I saw a post on it. July 6th, back in 1957, was the day that Paul McCartney and John Lennon met for the first time. Obviously, this is a very important day for Beatles fans and for music in general and just world history and the history of pop culture as we kind of know it. I guess. Yes, I'd say so. I think I'd stick by that statement. Yeah, man, it's a big day. It's an important day, so I decided to make this an important video, which is why I will cut the music now. And it's gonna get a bit more serious. Life works in very funny ways because I've been wanting to make this video for a pretty long time. It's something that's always been like on the back of my mind, like to do, you know, to talk about why the Beatles have how the Beatles have impacted me and why they've impacted me in the way that they did. I've been kind of down, you know, lately, and I've just been thinking a lot about everything, and you know, the Beatles are just always just one of those things that just kind of there. So I thought, you know, I really want to talk about how they've helped me through all this kind of stuff. And just as I was thinking that, I was scrolling down on Tumblr, and I saw the post about, you know, today, and I thought, wow, what a great, you know, I'll use today to talk about how, you know, all of this changed my life. It's gonna be a long video because I do have a lot to say. Hopefully I can say it in the most organized and, you know, just way of saying it, that I don't ramble and like I usually do. I'll try to organize my thoughts the best I can. But it will be a long video, and I can only hope that maybe you guys, you know where I'm coming from, understand a few of the things that I'm sharing with you. And I hope you enjoyed my story. It's not a story, but moving on. We're gonna start the video now. Actually, before we start, I'm gonna get kind of personal, and I'm gonna say that I'm not a feelings person. It's not in my nature. I don't really share these kind of things, and I also don't like really talking about myself like I just did there, because I don't know, I feel like it like I'm trying to, I don't know, I just don't like it. It's not in my nature. I don't really like talking about just this kind of stuff, but this is really important and it's relevant to today, and I need to talk about it because it makes me feel good talking about it. So today I'm going to share with you guys why the Beatles, like, you know, what the Beatles mean to me. I've been kind of down lately. I've been thinking a lot about time, and I don't know if you guys have ever, you know, sat down and thought about time as it is, as what it is. It's a rather overwhelming concept. You could go into, you know, the scientific side of it and just the emotional side of it, you know, the time that's past, time that is going to happen, you know, your future, your present, everything that has led up to your present, all that stuff. Right now I'm going to my third year of high school. I'm going to be a junior, and honestly I haven't enjoyed it that much. I don't really like high school. I'm not really looking forward to going into my junior year this summer, just for reasons, and so I think a lot about, like, wow, it's been 3 years that have just kind of sucked compared to, you know, 7th and 8th grade where I had the time of my life. So I thought back to 7th and 8th grade, like I think I mentioned in a previous video, the best days that I've ever had, you know, like I also said in another video, when I think about those times, I have to, the Beatles, you know, because that's what made it so enjoyable, is my discovering of all this music, this other world that I transported to when I listened to him, this feeling of just of safety, of being okay. That's what the Beatles are to me. They're my safe haven. You could be going through anything in the world, from a paper cut to anything else, but you know, I plug in my little earphones and I hear the harmonies on Babies in Black, or, you know, Paul's voice in Golden Slumbers, and all of a sudden, like, the world is perfect and everything is okay and I'm okay. And that's a very big deal, because not a lot of things on this world can do that to a person. And when you find that thing that just makes you okay, that you just say like, oh, yes, okay, like that, you can feel that, that is such a big deal, and it's so important. It's so important. It's so important to me. I discovered, well, I like to use the word discovered because we listened to the Beatles around, well, my dad did, and I only really knew, like, what I was going to say, I didn't finish that sentence, was that we used to listen to the Beatles around the house, but I only knew, you know, like, the 5 songs, you know, Eleanor Rigby and Strawberry Fields, you know, the main songs. So when I say discovered, I mean it's the day that the day that changed my life. The day that changed my life. And that day was in October of 2010, I do believe. I had just gotten a flute for my 13th birthday, and I was really obsessed with flute choirs. I was really in love with the sound of a lot of flutes at once, so I looked up flute choirs on YouTube, and I found this Japanese one that was doing Beatles covers. And I didn't really know too much about the Beatles, but it said Beatles, and, you know, that was a big deal in my house, so, you know, I clicked it, and I listened to it, and there were 2 songs that I'd never heard in my life. They happened to be Obla Di Obla Da and Yesterday, in that order. I didn't know them, but my mom knew them, so she started singing from the kitchen the words. So I looked up these songs, and like the only reason I looked them up was just to compare, you know, I want to know if the flute choir, you know, if it sounds like the original song. It's so funny just how things happen like that, because I listened to Yesterday and I was never the same person again. I remember I took Yesterday, like, it was on my iPod, and I brought it upstairs, and I started learning it on my flute, which starts on F. And just, I listened to it and listened to it and listened to it until I got the whole thing. I don't think I know it now. So I kept going, and I listened to it until I learned the melody on flute. And I don't remember really what happened from then on, but I just, that was the day that the day changed my life. That's all I can really say. That day changed my life. I can't really remember what it is that impacted me in such a way, because from then on all of that happened, and all of this happened, and everything else around my room, which is Beatles, happened. From then on, it felt like I was in a whole new world. Yeah, Aladdin, no, pun, whatever. I don't think I was really listening to music at the time. I was in like 7th grade. I don't know what I was doing. I was just living life. So all of a sudden I found myself enshrouded by this world of the early 60s and, you know, the really early Beatles stuff, which is, I think, why it's also my favorite, because it's what I kind of listened to it in order. And the early Beatles stuff, you know, that happy-go-lucky kind of boy band kind of thing. It made me feel so happy, and I think what it was that I'd never found something that made me so happy. You know, like, what is this? Who are these people? Like, it was so different. From that day on, I found these four men who became my best friends. In 8th grade, just stuff started happening at home, and my friends got dumb, and I found I was lonely a lot, and you know, the separation of my friends just because of, you know, boyfriends and stupid stuff. And I remember sitting in my room one day very upset at the world, and my mom came in and she asked me, you know, what's wrong? I remember all I said was, they're not my friends, like, in reference to people who, you know, were my friends. And I pointed up at a picture of the Beatles and I said, they're my friends. It's kind of one of those moments that I reflect upon, and it was true, because people who I was calling my best friends at the time, who I still know today, but we go to different schools, everything has changed. The friendship is kind of not there anymore like it used to be, and like, they were all I knew since kindergarten. So having that kind of like not around you anymore is a pretty big deal. But like I had told my mom that one night, you know, they were my best friends. These 4 men who made this music, well, I guess now 50 years ago, that I never even met, that I knew I was probably never gonna meet, but you know, they were the people who were with me at night when I was, I'll say this, you know, when I was crying, when I was angry. They were the people who were with me when I was happy. They were the people who made me happiest at the moment, still now. And I think that's it. It's like, you know, I will never be mad at the Beatles. No Beatles song will ever make me upset. It can evoke emotions in me, but I'm never going to be upset. How am I supposed to be upset when I listen to I Will? You know, I think that's one of the most beautiful songs in the world, just because I'm deeply in love with Paul McCartney and his voice and blah blah blah, but it's that, you know, it's that feeling of they'll never let you down kind of thing that I found and I still find so important. So when I think about today, you know, that Paul McCartney met John Lennon, that's the day, 50 years before I had even listened to a Beatles song, that these two men got together, that was the day that created something that changed my life. But besides, you know, the happiness and the safety, the Beatles, you know, because of the Beatles, I discovered what it is that I wanted to do with my life. You know, they gave me direction, and they gave me hope. I can safely say that the Beatles really did give me hope in times where I didn't have any, times where I don't have any even now. I don't know what it was, but that was it. That's what I wanted to do. They gave me the drive to do something and to strive for something and to hope for something. They taught me that, you know, they taught me what that was by hearing these stories of John, you know, where are we going, boys, to the top of you, like, I was like, yeah, man, like, yeah. They were the people who gave me that. And, you know, I look on my wall and I see pictures of Pink Floyd and I see pictures of Led Zeppelin, another band that really deeply impacted me. But, you know, before I can think about Jimmy Page or David Bowie or Mick Jagger or whatever, I started listening to those people because of the Beatles.